Hey Roma, good afternoon, good morning.
Good afternoon to you too, or good morning. It's
What?
12.
12 here, yeah. What time is it there? Hey Sahi.
Hello Ben, hello Roma.
Just get my note taker in. Yeah, thank you very much for both joining the call again. Lovely to see you both again. Unfortunately, Oren's not going to be able to join us again today, so it'll just be me on the call. But yeah, what I've done, I've created a slideshow offer presentation just to kind of outline the information. Had a bit of a disaster last week. I had a glass of sparkling water by my desk and I knocked it all over my laptop. So I thought I was going to have to do like a whiteboard presentation, but I took it to the shop and it's all fixed again. So we're all good. I'll share my screen. Bear with me one moment. One second, sorry. Okay. Okay, you should be able to both see that.
Yes, we do.
Cool. Okay, so obviously in the initial call kind of outline what we do, but we effectively drive AI-driven email prospecting, allowing you to put your product in front of your ICP at scale. So we spoke about the United Kingdom, so focusing on that in this presentation, but obviously you mentioned that you focus globally, but this campaign you probably want to focus on the UK to begin with. So let's start off with a case study. So this is the one I mentioned in the email, just going into a bit more information. So this is with SM Software. They're a United USA-based company. So previously they were really struggling on getting leads into their business. They had a sales team that were manually going out, scraping Google, manually emailing, manually calling, and they weren't seeing very good traction with that. And they just were of the belief that it's not working for them. We came in, we identified that their strategy wasn't very well optimized. They were getting very low open rates, and we basically completely redid their campaign and offering. So within the first 6 weeks of the campaign, we got them 33 qualified leads. That includes Samsung and Salesforce, and this results in 5 sales worth $175,000 per year. And there's a lot more in their pipeline that look ready to close. So I think it's actually above 400K now. We had a meeting last night and they want bigger software packages. So it's probably over 400K now, but let's stick with that. And here's just a few positive comments from some of our clients. I can send you this presentation. I won't read them out now, but if you wanted to take a look at that. But here's what you'll probably find interesting. This is the campaign. So they had a campaign targeting salespeople and a campaign targeting marketing people. So very good open rates, very coincidental, both at 86%, but that's very good. That's about as good as you can expect to get. Some campaigns we've got up to about 90%, but 86% is very, very good. And then that's resulted in 20 opportunities and 11 opportunities. So that's just anyone that's shown interest and booked a call. So obviously that's not the pipeline revenue. The pipeline revenue was calculated on their end as to like what's actually going to go through and become a sale. But yeah, that was, so I've kind of already spoken about how we achieved that for them. Go to the next slide. So I can't remember if I think I said in our last call, but I'll just go over what our process is. The very first step is identifying, okay, who do we want to target in this campaign? What type of companies? You said you don't want to target startups, it's small to medium-sized businesses based in the UK. And then we identify, okay, based on those companies, we might want to target companies, as you said, that are using AWS. We identify what roles in the company we want to target, whether it's CTO, VP of engineering, etc., and just build a really clear picture of who we want to target in our campaign. Really deep dive on that. Once we have a good understanding of who that is, we then build a list of these prospects, clean them, validate them, make sure that the deliverability is as good as possible. As I said, during this time, we also set up all the email accounts and domains. That's all handled by us just to make sure that's all ready to go. And then we start the copywriting. So it's very important that we inject a lot of personalization into this. So we use an AI flow to make sure that each and every prospect has a personalized email flow where we're understanding their pain points and what we can actually specifically solve for their company. And this has massively improved deliverability and conversion rates. And then as the campaign goes forward, we just keep looping back through this 4-step cycle. So as I said, we might identify a particular ICP is performing really well. We might agree, okay, let's focus on that ICP because that's performing really well for us. when we're doing the testing, we might identify that a particular strategy in our email campaigns performing really well, particular style of copywriting. And again, based on the data, we can make a decision to focus on that in the next campaign. And we just keep going through optimizing as the experiment continues to just get you the highest return on your investment. So I put together a quick example companies. So this is generally where I'd start with a campaign, is just finding companies that fit the ICP. So if we were to go ahead with this, we'd deep dive into this a lot further, just building a clearer picture. But this is targeting companies in the UK with 11 to 500 employees that are actively using AWS services. So there's around 9,300 companies in that, which is a very, very good total addressable market. Obviously, when we have those companies, we'd then find the people in those companies to target. So it's probably going to be three or four people per company. And there's over 100,000 globally. So there's plenty of leads to get through where that's concerned. That will last us years. And obviously we can do retargeting on that as well. But I just wanted to include that just to kind of give you a better picture of where we'd start the process and just to give you some information on that. So of course, the other option of doing this is to do it in-house, which a lot of companies try to do. Hiring sales development representatives, they're like $3,000 each generally. And then, as I said, manually scraping the leads or buying the software system to do this in-house, it's like $10,000 a year minimum. So saves you a lot of time, there's a lot less overhead, and it's much more budget friendly. You don't have to worry about HR issues, anything like that. It's a very much stop and start process. If we got to a point where you're like, okay, we're getting too many leads, let's dial this back a bit, or let's pause this campaign for 6 months and then we'll reach back out to you, we can do that. So it's very flexible in terms of how we can operate. In terms of the deliverables, as I said, we do everything basically up until the point that a sales meeting is booked into your calendar. So we do all the domain and email setup and the health management to ensure that your emails are landing in the inbox. We craft all the copywriting, all the analytics optimizations, we build the lists. Just to be clear, we never buy the lists. A lot of companies will go out and actually buy lists of companies. I think this is a very poor strategy because they're generally not very well targeted and they're heavily saturated. So we never do that, just to be clear. We do weekly performance reports. So every Friday, I'll do a video, or we can jump on a call and I can run through everything, my thoughts, how I think things are going, what kind of traction we're seeing, any optimizations on my end. Maybe you have some suggestions on your end, we can talk about that. We have a 24/7 Slack channel. So again, as long as I'm awake, you can ask questions in there, whatever it may be. I can communicate anything on my end. For example, a big use case for us where I use that, oftentimes prospects will ask questions and I may not have the answer to that question. So I'll then forward that question to you and say, hey, can I get some assistance in responding to this email? When I get that answer back, that allows me to then put that into my knowledge base. That will allow me to answer that question in the future. So again, as the campaign goes forward, I'll need much less assistance moving forward in terms of responding to people. But at the start, I may have questions that I need to ask in order to answer the emails correctly. As I said, the AI personalization as well, that's a very, very big step. And the inbox management, which is basically just nurturing any leads towards the point of sale. So, if someone needs more information or, they're not quite ready to jump on a call, I'll continue to nurture them until they say, no, I'm not interested, or they jump on a call. So we just keep going until we get them into your pipeline. And so pricing is the interesting part. So I broke this down into two campaigns because I noticed that you had, obviously, you've got the full development lifecycle campaign potentially, and then you've got the AWS DevOps stuff. So if you wanted to do one campaign, it'd be $3,000 per month. There's a $2,000 one-time setup fee. That's just to kind of get everything initialized, buy all the domains, get everything set up and get you into our software. And then commission is 5% revenue share on the first year of sales. So for example, if you worked with, if we got you a prospect and they paid you $50,000 a month for 3 months, then it would be 5% on the total amount of that, if that makes sense. If you wanted to do two campaigns, you might decide, okay, let's just do both at the same time. You might want to do the full life cycle development and the DevOps. That'd be $5,000 per month for both campaigns at the same time. But again, if you wanted to just start with one, we can do that. And then once we build confidence with that, we can move on to the other one as well. And that would be the price. Hopefully that makes sense. But that is the end of the presentation.
For me, it makes sense. I understand that, you take the setup fee. That's the first and the only thing, the initial one, and then it depends on the number of campaign. These are the pricing.
Yeah, so let's assume you decided to say, okay, for now, let's just focus on doing the AWS targeting campaign. That's one campaign. That would be $3,000 per month, and then an initial fee of $2,000, and then anything on top of that would just be the commission, if that makes sense.
I understand. And then I have one question. How many prospects or leads do you include in one campaign? Is it like 500, 1,000?
I mean, it's unlimited, really. There's no cap. It's whatever is the total addressable market. So let's go back to this slide here. If we were to go through and say, okay, this would be the beginning of our campaign. We have 9,300 companies. We then find the people in those companies. So that might be, as I said, CTO, VP of engineering, IT manager, whoever. We might end up with, say, 20,000 contacts. That'd be in the campaign, and that's all included in the price. So every time we need to get more leads into the campaign, that's all included. So there's no cap. We just keep it topped up as we see fit.
Thank you. Basically, I don't have any other questions. So he just disconnected.
Had to take a
I
call.
suppose he will connect once again.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, my headphones are broken.
That's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead, Rom.
Well, I had only one question. I asked Ben regarding the number of leads, and gave me the answer that the number is the number of the companies that are on the market, and then he collects 3 or 4 leads from every company.
Yeah.
That's how it applies.
Exactly. Effectively, there's no cap. We don't work on like if you need more leads, you have to pay extra. We just keep adding leads to the campaign as we see fit. I use this as an example. So we had 9,300 companies here. We'd then find, for example, CTOs, VP of engineering, engineering manager, whatever your role targeting would be. We might find 20,000 people to contact. We'd add them to the campaign. When we run out of leads in that campaign, we'd then add more in, and that's all included in the price. So there's no additional cost for adding leads in. That's all factored into the commission, the retainer. Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Ben. And back to the price options where you would like to get 3K per campaign, right? So,
yeah.
What is the flow? So what actually we can see in case of, I don't know, maybe sequence, maybe leads contact information. What kind of information, what kind of report you will include in that 3K monthly commission per campaign?
Sure. So let's go through let's again assume we were to go ahead with this. What would the process be? So I'll just walk through from setting up to the first week where you get your report. The first thing we'd do is we'd organise an onboarding call. That would be presumably with yourself and Roma and me, of course. We deep dive into, okay, who do we want to target? Do we want to target companies using AWS? Okay, great. Have we understood the ICP correctly? United Kingdom, 11 to 500 employees. Understand which companies we're targeting. Okay, great, we've got that. Now, next step is identifying which roles in those companies do we want to target. I can help assist with that as well, and we'd build a very secure, solid list of leads to contact. Next step would be, of course, writing the copywriting. So we'd collaborate on that. Again, in Slack, I'd send over any example copy. It'd be a very collaborative process to say, hey, here's what I've come up with. Are you happy with this? Does this sound good? Do you think this is illustrating your service accurately? Once we've got that, we can start. Obviously, during that time, we're warming up the domains. This is just to make sure that they're landing in the inboxes. So that's a 2-week process. That's non-negotiable. That's just how long it takes. But that gives us a lot of time to set up the campaigns and make sure they're as good as possible. After the 2 weeks, we hit play on the campaign and we let it run. And then after the first week, what I'll do, let me just bring up my other campaign quickly. I'll give you an example. Give me 1 second.
So each campaign, to set up each campaign, we will need 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, well, it's the 2 weeks is to set up the domain. So if we decided to do 2 campaigns, we'd buy the email accounts necessary to do the volume for 2 campaigns. There's always going to be a bit of time, a few days, however long it takes to get the sort of copywriting worked out,
sure,
scraping leads, but that takes probably no longer than five days, I'd say maximum. But I'm not.
Okay, just asking to have a full vision.
Yeah, it's okay.
So for each campaign, we will need to some kind of setup, some kind of ramp up for 2 weeks, right?
It depends. It depends. Like
No, in general. So just
in general, I'd say yes. It's probably wise to have a new batch of emails for that. If we say we had, for example, 30 email accounts already, I'd say let's just run with that on 2 campaigns. And if we need more, we might decide, okay, let's get some more emails. Again, that's all included in the price. So
and right now we are talking about monthly fee for such campaign of 3K, right?
Yeah.
So setup fee for 2K is some kind of another setup, your technical stuff, right?
Yes, correct. That's just to get everything. That's just to get you onboarded.
Talking about that 3K per month, what kind of report will be included? What kind of information will be in your reports?
Sure. So, for example, what I'll do every Friday, I'll do a Loom video just talking about any interested prospects. I'd show you any emails that have come in, anyone that's not interested, anyone that is interested, any optimizations that I think I might say, okay, this person said this, maybe we can try and change the campaign to improve this, for example. I'll show you this as well. So this is like an overhead perspective of the analytics, and we can deep dive in here. So where I said about the different email angles, so you have A, B, C, D, E. These are 5 different email strategies. So we can see here there's differing statistics. As we can see here, for example, this one's generated 5 opportunities, whereas this one's got 0. So we know that email A here, for example, is working really well, and we can turn the other ones off, and that's kind of the optimization process. And that would be my report. Is just delivering my thoughts as to how I think things are going, give you an opportunity to see how things are going as well on your end in a more sort of detailed strategy. As well, like other optimizations, maybe, for example, like one of my clients was getting a low shot rate because he didn't have reminders on for his meeting set up. So it's also optimizing the pipeline to make sure that we're getting as many conversions as possible.
And back to the commission part. So Are we talking about straight commission? So what I mean for straight commission, if our clients will not pay us, for instance, right? So how we work, we provide software development services for the first month, then send invoice to our client.
Yeah.
With net 30, net 15 or net 30. And during the next month, our clients should close the first invoice. And for instance, we can pay commission only for that money that will hit our account, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And we are talking only about first year. Then second year is
nothing. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And actually, we have some sales commission policy, and depends on the contract stage. We have 3 policy. First of all, it's if someone will reference us, it's a very low level of commission. Another way, if someone will book us a meeting, and then we will engage that client by ourselves, right? So our engagement team will provide some kind of work, will provide proposal development, negotiation, all these phases. We will need to go through all these phases. It's another way of collaboration, right?
Yeah.
And the very interesting, but we are not in the business yet, when someone just bring us a ready to sign contract, So we are not including in any negotiations, engagements, and proposal development part. So just ready to sign contract. And it's clear for me, and thank you very much for your pricing strategy and policy, and we will need to think about it. And another question, what happened if we will not have any results in the first month? What happened next?
So what I say always is that, as I said in my first call, I don't tie anyone into long contracts. There's no way of me identifying, or any of us identifying, how well this is going to go, but I'm very selective about the companies that I work with to ensure that, it's very beneficial for both of us to get traction on this, right? So I say, let's do this for 3 months. I think that's a good enough amount of time to identify if this is a working strategy or not. I'm very confident that it would be, but there's no way of me being able to say, okay, I can guarantee. A lot of companies say I can guarantee you 20 leads per month, which is ridiculous because how can you guarantee that without sending anything out? But you know, after 3 months, it's never happened before. But we just say, look, there's not a good fit. You know, this isn't working, whatever it may be. Let's cut ties there, and it just minimises that loss. But I don't think that will be the case.
Okay, and talking about money transfer and talking about transactions, how actually it look like for your site?
Sure. So yeah, what I'd do is I'll put a contract together, send you over the contract. Once the contract's signed, you're happy with it, I'd send you over a Stripe invoice for the setup fee and the monthly cost, and then it would just be recurring from that point up until the day that, you know, you might want to cancel or whatever, or decide that you're ready to stop.
So Stripe invoice, for us, it look like we can we can send money just from credit card, right?
Correct, yeah.
To the Stripe. So we will need to talk to our finance department. Probably it works for us. You know, we are located in Ukraine, and it's also a lot of questions how to send money outside the Ukraine. So Stripe should work for us pretty good again.
Yeah, we've worked globally with a lot of companies. Stripe, we never had any issues with that. I'm pretty sure we can receive money from any country. If there is an issue with that, we can discuss that and work, figure something out. But I'm pretty confident that should be absolutely fine.
Okay, another question. What do you think about Christmas time? So are we good to start something right now, or should we start it maybe after the Christmas season, after the winter season?
I think we're good to start now. I've had this question before, and we're talking probably. I'm going to keep working through, so the campaigns will keep running. We have an out of office flow, basically. So if someone's marked as out of office, we then put them into a subsequence, or we re-engage with them after they're back, just to make sure there's no gap we're not missing any leads. So that kind of handles that process. But yeah, absolutely think we don't need to worry about Christmas. And I'll be ready to answer any emails, anything that comes in, even on Christmas Day. I don't think anyone will be emailing on Christmas Day, but if they do, I'll respond.
And for his last questions, are you okay to provide us with all information you will work with during that campaign? Lead contacts, lead information, sequences, and our full involvement in that part. Are you okay with that?
So can you just clarify what you mean? But do you want me to provide everything up front in terms of in terms of campaigns and stuff?
For instance, you will write some sequence, right? And I guess it's a good idea to involve Roma and me to review that sequences.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's not something we'd be able to do ahead of payment. But what I can do, if you're interested, I can send you an example of something I've done for another company, just to show you an example of how we work, what a campaign may look like, if that's of interest.
Because you will represent our brand and you will represent our company.
Yeah.
We need to check something. We need to check what you are. Sorry, give me a second, please. I'm sorry, I booked the wrong meeting room.
That's okay.
Okay, Roma, can you pick up my question, please?
Yes. When do we understand correctly that you will send us the sequences, or you will just share with us approximate examples, but not the full sequences you will send to the customers?
Yeah, so are we talking here before actually going ahead, committing to doing this work, right? Yeah, I mean, that's not something I would normally do, but how about this? What I can do instead is just to give you confidence in the strategy. If we were to go ahead with this, you pay the setup cost, the monthly retainer. We start doing the onboarding flow. We start writing the copy. If you're not happy with it before it goes out, I can refund everything. That gives you some peace of mind, and I can work that into the contract. Does that give you some level of confidence?
It's not. Don't get us wrong. It's not that we don't trust you. We just simply want to understand what type of information you share about our company, because you will represent our company. It's not that we don't trust you that you can properly write in English or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not the type. We just want to have understand what we are doing by 100%. Not have approximate understanding, that not dubious sentences, that you're writing what we are really doing and what we can really not justify, but confirm to the clients when they come to us and want some services.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just about value proposition and communication style. And also, if you are working in that way that we pay you some money for campaign, for instance, 3K, we would like to have everything back and share it to us. So sequences and booked meeting with contact names, and so we just like vendor. We're building our relationship like vendor and client. So we pay you money and you get back us all information you know.
Absolutely. And sorry if I've not been clear on that. So as I said, in the onboarding process, I provide absolutely everything in terms of what the campaign, everything like that. You'd have the full sign off before you'd say, okay, I'm happy with how the campaign looks. I'm happy with the targeting. The lead list looks great. Let's sign it off. I don't do anything until you sign off and you're happy. So once you're happy, the messaging's good. Then once it's signed off by you, I hit play on the campaign and we get going with it. I don't do anything without your go ahead, basically, just to ensure that you're happy with how I'm representing your company. I was going to say, as an example, here's a campaign I put together for one of my database clients. So I won't read it out here, but it just gives you an idea of the personalization. So this is targeting companies that are actively recruiting database administrators. So just saying, came across your LinkedIn job listing, and then it's using AI personalization to tie in what they're looking for specifically in their company, and that we can help them do that. And then a bit about their company and how they've helped other companies, and can I send you more information? And this gets their lead into the flow. After, the next email would be sending more information and then getting a call booked in.
Okay, got it. And can you be a little bit flexible with the amount of campaign? And for instance, if you will ask you to start first campaign for 1,050. 100. So can you customize the campaign to provide a little less work for us if you don't have such amount of money?
You mean the monthly retainer of 3,000?
Yes. So can we do something less with less money as well?
Not really. I mean, the lowest I could do 2,500, but that's probably the lowest I could. That's the lowest I could do.
Okay.
But it wouldn't change it wouldn't really change we have to do the work up front. That's, there's nothing I can really change to make it cheaper.
Understood. And about state commissions, we will need to negotiate it one more time because we have different amount of contracts, right?
Yeah.
So if you will I would say some small contracts, then maybe 5% is fine. If we have a bigger contract, then we need to discuss that value as well.
Yeah, more than happy to negotiate on the commission. What do you think would be fair and reasonable for the commission? So you said 5% for smaller deals. So maybe we can do like a price matrix where if it's between a certain amount, 5%, and then it will be a scale of commission percentage.
Yeah. So we'll talk internally, and I will send you our thoughts, and Roma will keep it talking to you.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you very much for the presentation. It's sound reasonable for me and very interesting. We are still interested. Just need to think about our budgets and so on.
Absolutely. What I'll do, I'll send you over this presentation. I can also send you over the recording of the call with my Fireflies note taker if you want to listen to it back, just so you have all the information. There's a transcript in there as well. So I'll send you both, and then I'll wait to hear back from you about whether you want to go ahead or not.
Yeah, let's talk maybe in the middle of the next week.
Okay. Do you want to
Wednesday?
Do you want to set up a call or?
Roma will send you Roma will ping you early next week. Okay.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
On Tuesday we will have our internal meeting with finance and sales team, and after that we will be able to keep talking.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Fantastic. Serhii, Roma, thanks again for your time. I'll send over the information, and I look forward to speaking to you next week.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wish you a nice weekend.
Thank you very much. You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take hello to your boy.
I will do.
All right.
See you later.
See you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. I think that went okay. I was just trying to handle. I'm trying to handle objections more on the calls. Something I've not really done in the past, and just kind of taken their word for. We'll speak to you next week. We'll let you know. So it's definitely a big thing I'm trying to work on at the moment, is trying to handle objections better. So he mentioned about what was the first one? He said about what was it? Obviously, we had the pricing one. I'm happy to go down to 2,500 rather than 3,000 if it's going to get them in the door. But I wouldn't really want to go much lower than that. The other one was like, what happens after 3 months if after a month if we haven't seen anything? And what a lot of companies do is offer a guarantee, but I really don't want to get into that flow as much as I'm confident I can provide for them. Some companies just say, we'll refund absolutely everything if we haven't got you anything by this point in time. And that's just not affordable for my business model. So if they don't want to do that, then that's not something I'm interested in doing. But hopefully, I think I answered that relatively well. What other ones do we have? Well, obviously the commission, he thought the 5% commission was a bit high. So creating like a matrix of, if it's between this range and this range, we do 5%. If it's between this range and this range, we might go down to 3%. Again, happy to do that. Really, as long as it's a reasonable commission, I'm happy to work with that. What else was there? There was something else I'm not thinking about. I can't remember. They seemed, they definitely seem interested. I think there's always like a level of skepticism where someone hasn't done this before, especially with smaller companies, sort of 5 to 10 million revenue, where it's seen as quite a lot of money to invest in something that might not work. And there's no guarantee that it is going to work. So it's kind of like it is taking a risk, and they need to think about that. And obviously it has to be profitable for them. So, but yeah, I think it sounds very promising. I was hoping that I got the deal closed on this call. But I think I'm pretty confident next week they're going to go ahead with it. I'll keep you posted in my weekly updates. But yeah, if you enjoyed this sales call, drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.